Welcome back, friends and neighbors. Chiefs Kingdom everywhere, no matter where you are around the world tonight, deployed otherwise or in the KC Metro. Welcome to RGR Football. We're going to talk about a number of things that are going on, and all of your questions get answered tonight. That's the way that this one works. We'll start off with a couple of topics that I want to just briefly cover as the Chiefs get ready for MiniCamp, which starts tomorrow. Welcome to RGR Football. It is nice to see all you football fans out here. This is going to be a fun one, and I know there's a lot on your mind. There's already a ton of comments in here and a lot of friendly faces in the chat as well. I want to get started just briefly off the top. I hope Danilo will be able to join me here later, so you'll see Thunder Dan here as we go on. But a couple of things. Mahomes, this is him. This is his time. And I wanted to hit this. If you're new, like, sub, hit the bell notification because that's how you find out what's going on. We do have content all week long for you with a bunch of the contributors, including Danilo and Dan, myself, and a couple of other strays as well. You might know Seth Kaiser. This is, for all of you following up from Thursday, this is the follow-up. This is the Monday show. This is our main live stream where I answer your questions. I know there are a lot of folks that didn't get their answers the other night because there's just not enough time for Seth and I to go through everybody's question on a night when we're trying to debate a topic and trying to get through really what we're discovering and what we're analyzing about the team and try to get you guys fresh information. But I do want to say this. There is one person out there, Stacy J. Thank you very much. Just as we were closing off on Thursday night, Stacy sent us a super chat. I was just clicking it as it came in and registered on my screen, so I'm sorry that we missed it. But you had said that we were making you cry. Well, I'm sorry about that. I'm sure hopefully that was out of joy. Knock on wood, tears of joy. That was what I was going for. I don't remember what we were waxing eloquent about, but evidently it worked. So, Stacy, thank you for the support. And for all of you that want to super chat as well, we appreciate that. Super chat is the easiest way to support us here. We get a good chunk of that. So does YouTube, just so you know. Another great way is to hit the store and grab some of the t-shirts and things that are available there. And you can always become a member. Memberships come to us as well. And if you are a member, we'll have something for you. I'm going to try to do the Zoom meetup tomorrow night, a couple of guests as well. So you should be seeing an email tomorrow. Keep an eye out for that. For all you members that are all pros and elites. And anybody who wants to join up for that can do so by tomorrow. You just want to hit your name down there. If you are a new all-pro or elite, make sure you send me an email at the contact info or hit me on an Instagram DM or Twitter DM with your contact email so that I can get you the invite. That's what makes it difficult. That said, thank you, Stacy. Very much appreciate it. If you guys do super chat tonight, you want to super chat your question to me, make sure that it includes your question so I can get you something for it right away. That's what we're going to do. I like this one, George. I'm gonna use this. We're going to make it into a tee, I'm pretty sure. We'll have Rogue Nation tees coming. I just got to work on the graphics and get that built. But that is a great way to put it. I like that one. So Chiefs Kingdom, welcome to Rogue Nation. So I like that. First super chat of the night, and very much appreciated. Ben Broadbeck, you're always in here early, and you're always the first one. And we do appreciate the support. Thank you very much. And I know you came right back with the question underneath it. So let's get to it. Besides Callaway, who do you see anyone who could open eyes early? I think you could see Mike Hughes take a step forward. I think he and Fenton are battling for that nickel spot. Let's see if he does something. And I actually kind of feel like this offense might be gearing up to make Noah Gray a prominent figure in the offense because it's just such a nightmare matchup for a lot of teams, especially when they try to cover Kelsey and Hill and Hardman and now even Clyde. So I'm going to watch for that. I don't think you can become an instant anything in minicamp, but let's keep an eye on it. And that's kind of what I went to, the thumbnail and the main topic that I wanted to hit before I started questions, which I've already screwed up, was that Mahomes, this is his turn to be mighty. He's clearly recovering well from his toe injury. He's clearly in command of the offense, even the new wrinkles. He's probably still coming up with new wrinkles with Andy Reid. But this is his moment. Like, it's been passing camp, like not a whole lot of competition. The level of competition goes up here tomorrow for the next couple of days. And then the level of competition goes way up for training camp. And then you get to the regular season where it is more about management. The level of competition is up on Sundays, but the rest of the week becomes about learning, about planning on how to dissect another team. And so these levels are good for the rookies, and quite frankly, they're good for all the veterans that have signed with this team to learn how to deal with the tempo of Andy Reid's practices, etc. There's a lot to be learned this next couple of days, so keep an eye out. That said, back to the questions, and we will focus on the questions tonight. Again, thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Ben. And Travis Anderson, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Don't see. I'm going to keep searching for a question from you as well. Oregon Fishing is here. Welcome to you. I know it's rough out there in the rivers, right? I'm glad you made it. Eric Streeter, any thoughts on the signing of Wyatt Miller, the OT? Any issue not signing a veteran edge, CB or LB, to help the team instead? I can't say that I'm surprised. I don't know that Melvin Ingram he might be the only guy out there that might be worth signing at the edge. And I'm just not sure that that's what they want to do. Whether it's price or whether it's performance, I really can't say. But I will say that they would have done it if they wanted to. So that tells me they have confidence in what they have going right now. Will that bite them? It can. We'll find out. CB, I think they're pretty straight on. Like, they have the guys. Maybe they were hoping that they could get Bashad because his contract didn't actually work out that well for him. Maybe they were hoping for that, and that was in the back of their pocket, and that didn't work out. I can't tell you for certain. I don't know. There's a ton of guys out there at the linebacker level that I'd be looking for either. The interesting thing with losing Long and then they sign Miller, you're backfilling to keep the numbers up at offensive offensive line, offensive guard here. It's not a 1-for-1 because Kyle was playing the guard spot, but it does mean that they're very focused on keeping those numbers up, even if the level goes down. I can't say that he's got any better chance than anybody that's previously here. So I think he's going to be here for camp, and that's going to help them. And whether he makes it out there alive or makes a practice squad, we'll have to see. They can't have veterans on the practice squad now, so that's part of it. Stevie's in the house. Aaron's in the house. How are you guys? Holly's here. Nice to see you all. Jake, thanks for the super chat. And you asked, since we let Breland go to Skull, yeah, that's the Vikings, is there interest in trying Richard Sherman? Do the Chiefs have any interest in Stephon Gilmore if he's freed? If he's a free agent, I think they would have interest in Gilmore, certainly, because he can do a number of things. Inside, outside, he could even play some safety for you. He's been able to do that in injury fill-in the past. So, yes, for sure on Gilmore. I think they would have gone after Richard Sherman if they wanted him. I don't think Richard fits into their scheme as well. Yes, he's got the length. He's a great zone corner. I think they want to play man when they can. I think that's not the optimal for Richard. And quite frankly, every year he gets older, it's a little bit slower. Not a lot. I have to say, like, he's sustaining pretty well. The fall off is minimal, but he's very expensive, and I don't think that's going to change. So it is what it is. So no, I think it would be Gilmore if he were available. Aaron, welcome, folks. Our fearless moderator, Aaron Morrow. If you have issues, contact him. If you get out of line, he'll contact you. So let's be nice to everybody in here. Let's see. Stevie's in here. Everybody's in here. I like seeing it. We're going to get to the questions, folks. If you're new, make sure you put questions at the beginning of your question line. It helps me find them in the chat. This is not just a super chat thing. I'll answer everybody's question tonight as long as we don't run out of time, or I don't take too long to answer them. Unlike on Thursday night, I have to answer the super chats, or I just feel like I'm not fulfilling the service that I promise you guys. But on Mondays, everybody gets a question answered. So that's what I'm looking for, but it helps me pick it out, like Voodoo's right here. Voodoo, member question. Love seeing that. Who was the bigger year, Taco or Tershawn? That is a great question. I think with the arrival of Jarran Reed, I think it makes the opportunity for Tershawn a little bit harder to come by. Whereas I feel like Taco should be the first guy off the bench. I don't think Taco's your starter at end. I think if it's not Chris Jones, and we still don't know, like I know they're practicing him out there a lot, we're going to have to see how that goes in scrimmage and in camp to get a feel for like how much percentage-wise Chris Jones is going to play outside. I could definitely see them leaving Reed and Chris Jones inside on passing downs and bringing Taco as the fill-in. That said, if you're not starting Chris Jones on the end spot, if he's at his normal tackle spot next to Jerron Reed, Jaron, I go back and forth on that all the time. I will learn it eventually, especially when I hear the man say his name a little bit more. I think if it's a true end that starts there, I think it's probably Mike Dana. He started for them and played a lot of snaps for them. And I think he came along, and I think he sets the edge. I think he's better against the run than Taco is right now. I think it's more natural for him. So I do believe that he would be the guy that they start, at least to begin the season. And then Taco comes in the passing downs because Taco is a designated pass rusher. He was the most efficient pass rusher on this roster last year, even though it was a very small sample size. He didn't get that many pass rush snaps. But I think Mike Dana would be the guy that would start there because he can play the all-around and has the better run defense. Good to see you, Gary Holland. One of the OGs around here. Nice to have you back. I know you've been here a little bit. How much percentage of the plays will dedicate to the run this season? That's a great question. So Andy, let's see, was it 17? I started tracking his percentage years and years ago, but I just kind of let it lie because I wasn't making a big deal. Then, with Alex running around, I started to track, like, what is the call percentage? Not the RPOs, but the actual calls where he's handing it off specifically. And that was started in 17 at around 36%, if I remember correct. And it fell all the way last year down to like 23%, I think was the total of dedicated handoffs. Not RPOs that Patrick chose to hand off, but the ones where he called actual runs, at least that I can discern. So I'd love to see that go up. I feel like the offensive line choices and guys that they brought in kind of feeds towards running the ball more. So I'm looking for – I want 35%. I'm hoping for 30% from them, and we might just get that. Julian, how are you? You'll have an invite from me tomorrow night or tomorrow during the day. Hope you are well, my friend. Let's see. Only Knives, how are you? Allegretti over LDT at right guard if Long isn't ready for week 1. Doubtful. Very doubtful for me. Allegretti's played mostly on the left-hand side. He's taken a few practice snaps at center. I don't think he's ever snapped in a game at center. Wiley and LDT are getting the first run at right guard. Allegretti will be the backup at left guard, is my opinion. I think they might move him over there for some practice, but for week 1, I think it's going to be somebody who started there before, either LDT or Wiley, or if Long gets back. They said that they're expecting him back for camp. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Trey 303, what's up, buddy? Glad you made it back. We're going to have to put out the feelers and get everybody down to Don's or somewhere in Denver here so we can do a Colorado meetup of Rogue Nation. Yes, I'm going to start using that, you guys. I like it. Let's see. Questions. There's Samuel. How much? Oh, no, I already answered that one. See, that's what happens when I go slow. You guys, you probably don't have to re-answer it or re-ask it. I'll get there eventually. As I answer them, it kind of slows me down. Gary, how are you? How do you feel about the defense going against the run this year? I mean, Jaron Reed's an upgrade. Let's be frank. Noddy's very good against the run. If it's an early down or you're playing the Titans, Noddy and Reed is formidable. I actually want to see them go to, let's stop playing with DB blitzes. Let's send 5. Let's have a 5-man front. I want on 46 with Jones, Reed, and Noddy in there on the guard center guard, and then let the ends do what they do. Like, I think that's a viable look for them, knowing that a lot of times you're taking a 4-man front and you're sending an extra rusher anyway. So I like that. But against the run, they are significant. Now, if you're swapping in Reed for Noddy, or if you're running a 4-man front with Chris Jones on the edge and you have Reed and Noddy in there, I think they're better suited to stop the run. Reed is very formidable in there, and he's got pass rush. So, like, they have 2 guys in the middle. Like, you're not going to see those gashes up the middle, or you shouldn't, because they're going to protect the backers. Hitch is lighter. I think he's going to come into camp lighter as well. He might play lighter come week 1. And those tackles are going to protect him. They have to. And if they do that, and they're more sound, and a veteran like Reed should be more sound, then that means Anthony Hitchens can have more cleanup tackles and not having to force the tackles or take on blockers in the hole. Big plus. Kansas Carolina, how are you? After the 2019 season, Mahomes said he needed to start hitting the checkdowns instead of trying the downfield. I didn't see that in 2020. Do you think he'll actually do that in 2021? For those of you who saw the breakdown last night, my conversation with Matt Derrick, and for those, I got some strange comments about people who don't know who Matt Derrick is. Matt Derrick is one of the 5 beat reporters that are allowed to cover this team every week, every game, et cetera, et cetera. He knows them as well as anybody, including Nate Taylor and Adam Teicher and anybody else that's in that room. So, Matt and I actually theorized about that. He's feeling like he thinks Patrick's going to make that turn, and I'm super hopeful. It seems like Patrick is saying the right things. Whether he can like fight his instincts to want to go downtown all the time, I think that's going to be the challenge. It is what it is. Jason, what's up with you, buddy? Recently moved back across the pond, so I haven't been on live streams. Just wanted to say hey, and I really appreciate all the work. Well, thanks, and welcome home, I guess. I'm not sure if that is home for you or not, but hey, say hi to my friend Britt, Chief, and I have cousins over in Ireland if that's where you went across the pond. So, cheers to you, and I hope that you're doing well. It's a big move. Stevie, of course, folks. If you want to see Stevie and Gooch, they had a new episode come out of the Rogue Head Huddle. That's for the members only, and this month it's for all members. In July, it'll go back to normal, where you have to be the second tier or higher. But they have a brand new episode out, and you'll see more of them. You'll see some Rogue Life from Gooch this week as well, and those are the member-specific bonuses that these guys started doing because they can and they're good at it. So I hope you guys dig it. But with Levy and trashing Andy, I'm waiting for him to announce he's moving to safety and signing with the Raiders. Anyone else chance that he can play now? I don't know that anybody's going to give him a chance at all. So he might as well move to safety and call up Gruden and see what he can do. I'm not sure. You just burned the last bridge. Like, he sat out for a while after the Jets too, right? Like, why would you do that? It doesn't make much sense to me to keep on burning things, even if it's, some off comment on Instagram. It goes back to what I said when he was brought in. Le'Veon's a him first guy, not a team first guy. And he may have burned his last bridge. I don't know. Aaron, should it be Rogue Kingdom? I don't know. That feels like too much of a ripoff of Chiefs Kingdom. So I think we'll go Nation. It seems to be clicking. And Sack Nation sometimes comes clicking and sometimes it doesn't. So I think there's room for Rogue. I don't know. Agent DK, will Le'Veon ever play football again in the NFL? It made it less likely is my point. Like, I don't know. I think somebody might give him a chance, but he made himself less likely to get signed with those comments. That's just, it's just silly. It's just not smart. Oh, Jeff and I know Badger did. I didn't see Jeff do it, but good for them. I mean, most players love playing for Andy Reid. Most players in this league want to play for Andy Reid. And if you don't, that's fine. But don't attack the guy because you couldn't fit into his offense. I mean, maybe he said, hey, sure, I'm going to give you tons of snaps and let you get a chance. If he were clicking and working the offense, he'd have been on the field. So let's not make two wrongs out of this. Let the players are going to defend him because Le'Veon's probably wrong. And they'll know better than I will. I'll tell you that. Does sound better? Okay. Just making sure. Didi, no, we're kind of going back and forth. Danilo 1 week, Dan the next week. Dan's doing multiple videos every week now, so he's almost doing as much as I am at this point. I'm doing 4 or 5. Dan's doing 3, including the little ones. If you guys are missing those, we're trying to give you little short takes in the mornings that are like good for on the way to work or whatever. Just something to think about. Try to keep them nice and simple. So just a little touch base kind of thing. Patrick, good evening. I like that. Oh, I like Rogue Family too. That's good. Do you feel like we could pursue a player in a trade like a CB Gilmore from the Patriots? I know we've been linked to him in the past. The problem is with his contract. I think they'd have to work something else to make the room for his contract. I think it's more likely that they wait to see if he gets released. And if he does, then I'll bet you they'll have interest. If I know Brett Veach, if he can make a reclamation project out of some guy that was, a first rounder and never played, he'll go after Stephen Gilmore. I'm pretty, or Stephon, sorry. I always mess that up. It's from the Stephon Page days. Like I always did that wrong. I don't know why. Voodoo, thank you. Wharton looks like he's practicing at edge during OTAs. And me actually see, I hope so. I hope that it's not just, hey, we're going to try him out and see what he looks like. That could be it. They might just be taking a good look at it. But I think he can do it. So, like, I think that adds another rotation. Quite frankly, if you're going to play that mush front like Daly did when he was with the Patriots, having guys that can play inside and outside is key to it. So I think that could be important. DD, you mentioned Melvin Ingram being the only best option, but I like Olivier Vernon. What about you? I mean, I liked him 4 years ago. I think he's kind of out of juice. I didn't see much power or much snap from him last year. Like, I don't think anybody's scared of him anymore. And quite frankly, they need somebody to balance the line. So it's not all directed at Frank on the outside. Let's see. Drummer Dude, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. And you remember, always helping out. Appreciate that. Do you think that the new O-line will be ready for week 1? Or do you think it will take a couple regular seasons game for them to develop their chemistry? I think both. I think the vast majority of them, obviously Creed is a rookie, but especially on the left side, those two guys have been Pro Bowlers. I think they've both been all pros. Remmers LDT, if that's the lineup, that might take a little bit of getting used to, but that's about chemistry. Those guys have a lot of snaps under the belt. So I think they'll be ready to go week 1. I think they'll be serviceable. But then you're right, like about week 6-ish, I think that's when it'll start to click, and then they'll get really good at playing together. But you can do everything in OTAs, you can do everything in training camp, but until you get to that point where you're under fire against somebody else that wants to destroy your quarterback or beat you in the run and take out Clyde, like until you get to that point, you're not going to like come all the way together and really gel. It seems like they have good chemistry so far, but it'll take playing someone else to really hone that into the steel that it's going to be. So a bit of both. Thank you, Drummer. Lego, why not grab Brandon Jacobs on a cheap edge rusher's contract vet minimum? Because he's never played it, and he's like 37 years old or something like that. It's just not a chance that I see Brett Veach taking. Like, that's just... he'll let the Jags do that and bring dudes out of retirement. I mean, he already brought one dude out of retirement, Kyle Long. Now, he hasn't been gone but one season, but position change, different playing shape, like, nah, I don't see that in the cards. I don't think Brett Veach has any interest in that at all. Trey, how are you? Do you think the CH will have a breakout season with the new rebuilt O-line? I mean, it depends on what your definition of breakout is. Like, he put up over 1,000 yards last year. What is it, 800 on the ground and 400 in the air, 1,200 yards? That's pretty dang good. Like, if you're looking for like a 1,600-yard season on the ground, I just don't think that's in Andy's wheelhouse for doing that much run-based play call. Now, that said, if Andy does go to more of the RPOs and Patrick has learned his lesson, like we talked about earlier, about taking it when they give it to you, like that could turn into a lot more handoffs out of the RPO than what we've seen. And if that happens, then I think Clyde's going to have room to run. What I'm most intrigued about is I think this might be a higher touchdown output season for Clyde, because I think the short yardage is going to be vastly improved with this particular group. And in a minute, we're going to have Danilo on here because it looks like he is joining up. Just as I said that, he stood up. So we're going to wait just a second. Okay, he's back. There we go.
Checkity check. Hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you. How are you, man?
What's up, guys? I'm doing all right, man. How are you doing?
Hanging in. Just trying to keep up. A lot of questions tonight. You have a good weekend?
I did. I had a good weekend. I had a cheat day on Saturday. I had a big old Culver's double pub burger with bacon and cheese.
Good Lord, man.
And I had what else did I have? Oh, this is not a twist off. I'm going to have a beer with you.
Hey.
Because the plan I'm on is the do what you want to do plan. And foundation is juicing. And Aaron knows this. Aaron Morrow knows this. The basis is juicing. And then other than that, like drinking green juice all day long, every day with water. And then, if I feel like a cheat day every 7 or 10 days, I'm going to do it.
Rock and roll. Good
Down
for you.
18 pounds in 11 days. So it's working.
Dang. Yeah. Dude, yeah, it is.
See me
I am not dropping that fast. I know, right, dude? Looks good. Like, I am not to that point. I'm still trying not to drink as much as I normally do because I normally drink quite a bit. So
we got to go to
Mez. Mez, glad you're back. Your Islanders are in playoffs. Good luck. I have to say my wife is a huge Avs fan, though. So
Ditto.
That's just going to be the way that is.
Yep.
I'm doing well, Aaron. Thanks for asking. Guys, I know I'm behind on the chat. We're going to get there, especially now. Daniil can help me answer some, but I gotta keep scrolling because I know I'm a bit behind. Let's see here. Can we average 200 yards a game on the ground this season? Could they? If they wanted to, probably. Will they? No. Andy ain't having it. And quite frankly,
no.
At that point, even I would say that's too much because then you're taking snaps and throws away from Patrick to the point where it's not helping him.
It's crazy.
You know? I want to run enough so they can take the pressure off of him and he has opportunities for better matchups. And then I just want to beat heads in at some point. So,
and let's not
Hunter Bible.
Let's not forget who's making $500 million. Let's use that guy.
Did you happen to catch what Gilmore's contract is right now?
Did I? No.
Yeah, I haven't either. Aaron, I want to say it's like 13-ish. Like, yeah, it's too much to trade for. Again, he would have to be released, I think, before the Chiefs would have interest. Mez, I was a little shocked to learn it.
But I think that's what happened with Julio. I don't know if you guys covered that or not, but I think it was just.
No, I haven't talked about Julio yet. A lot of interest in Gilmore tonight. And I can't say I blame it, you know. I was shocked to learn that Andy was walking around at Kane. Do you think that just gave EB a little more money to stay around? The promise that he'll get Andy? No. I think this was maintenance on his knee. Andy had a knee replaced. Was it last offseason or the year before? I'm not sure. As I understand, it was a cleanup procedure or something like that related to what he's had in the past. Like that's not like anything major. And you wouldn't pay your coordinator more, even if it were. Otherwise, Dicka would have been paying everybody forever because Dicka couldn't walk when he was a head coach.
Oh my God, he's not 20 either, Andy, and he's not small. So once in a while, it's going to happen. You got to deal with it.
Yeah, a little maintenance every now and then. That's what we call it. Agent DK. I don't know how front offices work, but do you think that Brett Veach told Frank Clark he has to have a great season in order to stay on the team? I mean, no, you don't come out and like out a guy to his face like that. That has a tendency to end badly. My perception, I've never had a conversation with Brett Veach yet. But he seems like a very much, what do we need to do to help you? How can we get you that much farther down the line? The difference between what Frank Clark has been doing and what they want him to do is about 3% performance in terms of getting luck, getting, that much quicker off the snap. Evidently, Frank's down in weight, and I think that's part of getting off the snap. What do you think?
I mean, I hope it's that. I hope it's not his virus and stuff bugging him again. I hope he's just trying to be faster. I know Hitchens is doing it for speed. Hitchens sees right. He sees the young guy getting drafted. He sees Willie Gay. It's like, I got to get faster. I'm going to look really slow on tape. I think Frank, it's preseason maintenance. I mean, I used to do a similar thing, get down and wait right before the season and just tighten up and then not have to worry about it as much. As far as the Veach thing, I think Veach is I see potential. I'll go get potential. And I think he's pretty hands off. And it's like Andy's deal after that. And I'm sure Andy talks to Spags. Spags goes to Brendan and says, motivate him. And Brendan handles it. I don't think Spags is even taking him aside necessarily.
Yeah,
there's a hierarchy,
Yep, that's why it's there. What's the deal with Saunders? And if he doesn't take a step, would you consider him cut? I don't think he gets cut because he's cheap labor and he still has development potential. I think he's too heavy. Just looking at, and I haven't seen him live, but just looking at the photos, I think he's still heavy still. He hurt his elbow early last season. He started going to barbecue and he put on bad weight. That's just the way it is. He's an explosive dude. He's always been big, but he looked bad at the end of the year. Even though as he was running around as a linebacker. I don't know if you've looked at the galleries or not. He looks lighter to me, but not enough that he should be explosive again yet. Like I think he still has a ways to go to get back into playing shape.
Right. I'd like him to watch some John Randall tape. It's like, dude, you're undersized. With your athleticism, there's no excuse for you not being super productive. John Randall wasn't doing backflips that I know of. I mean, you definitely have some of that character in you. So, get the weight down and show what you can do, man, or it's going to be curtains up by the end of the season,
I agree. Like, I think his best thing is being a penetrator in one of the gaps, whether he's lined up heads up or not. Like, that was what he was good at. So
Should be easier. It should be easier with Jerron Reed on one side, and if Saunders is just spelling naughty once in a while, and he's got Reed and Chris bookending him, dude, there's no excuse for not making something happen once in a while.
I am totally with you. Avery, how are you doing? Who would you rather see step up and produce in this their first season, Lucas Niang or Trey Smith? Which do you feel the team needs to have step up more this year? It's hands down Lucas Niang to me. They need to tackle a lot more than they need a guard. They got talent there. And quite frankly, you guys, Trey Smith is not the athlete that he needs to be for this offense. I think he needs a year to get conditioned to get into shape for it myself.
What if I agree, by the way, Lucas Niang, hands down, has to, because I think Trey Smith is an inevitability. That's going to happen. Mm-hmm. I want to see it from Niang. I don't know for sure that it's going to happen from Niang. And what if Niang looks okay, but Trey Smith is looking amazing, and he's like, by the way, I played every position except for center. I could play right tackle if you really need it. I can throw people around on right tackle if we really need it. I mean, he could be the first guy off the bench before Niang if Niang doesn't start.
And that's my preferred role for him. Like, I want to see them go 6 linemen at times, and I love him in that role. That should be a good way to get quality snaps for a young lineman.
Just like gravy on the meat at the end of the line. Yep. Oh my gosh.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm doing with it. I might start the season in that formation.
Right. Blake Bell, just take a breather. Trey's got this one.
It's all right. IDK, the backup is Lucas Niang right now. He's running with the 2s behind Mike Remmers. They do always have a tendency to fall towards experience, the veteran, if it's like a tie. So Niang has to go take that job if he wants it. And so right now he's the backup. Let's see. Drummer Dude, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. What Chiefs position group makes you the most nervous at this point, and why? Where are you at, Danilo?
None make me nervous. Tight end depth, I'd like to see a little more proven, something special depth other than, I mean, the most potential pop we have is a rookie, and everybody else is kind of, that's okay. He's an okay guy. He could play. I mean, I don't want to see him out there for extended period. Put it this way. If something happens to Travis, he misses time, we're struggling at that position. So that makes me a little nervous.
Yeah. Like, I have a feeling that camp is going to be about how do we incorporate Noah Gray in case Travis has to miss time. Right. I mean, anything after 30, you're rolling the dice a little bit harder. You know what I mean? So I don't think he can do what Travis does, but I think they're going to have wrinkles, and I'm really interested to see what they are, to tell you the truth.
I just want to see him be the best Noah Gray he can be. Don't try to be Travis, dude. Just be you.
Yeah. Cody, I like it. Thoughts on the D-line coming in a little bit more trim. In general, I like that, and it's because Noddy looks down a few pounds. Now, I don't know Jaron Reed because I in the dark Seattle uniforms, I never got a feel for like how much weight he was carrying that was kind of soft or whatever. He looks trimmer to me too, but I don't know. The only guy who doesn't look trimmer to me is Colin Saunders. So I'm not worried about them having power to withstand doubles or in the run game. So I like it in general. You?
I feel like Jaron Reed, his size. When I first heard he was coming over, I looked at some of those photos and I was like, oh, he looks like the D-line version of Jerome Bettis. He can still be plenty athletic, and he's thick. He's going to be hard to move. He's going to be hard to stop. I think he's maybe a more explosive Derek Noddy, which is nice. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Drummer, by the way, the one that I was worried about was the linebackers. I got to see somebody step up and play.
What about Turk, Ryan? I heard people are like calling out Turk Wharton is now his nickname's Turk. They're calling him out saying he's popping and he's doing some special things. So it's going to be interesting.
I saw him lined up in a couple of those images out at end. So I think he has the ability. If they are trying to move him to part-time defensive end, I think that's going to take a little time for him to get used to. Mm-hmm. But I think, again, that's a way for him to get snaps. If they're having Chris out there, then he should be in the rotation. It should be Saunders and him behind them. If they're not, if they're experimenting with Chris now and Chris is still going to play 70% of his snaps at tackle, then that's less opportunity for Turk Wharton. So I'm all for it. Be as versatile as you can.
More you can do.
Voodoo, does Ward have a bounce back year like he had in 19? Does Spags allow him to press more, even in the end zone? Is that what you mean? Or more press zone? Let's hope that he doesn't play press zone, because that will get Travarius burnt every time. I hope that he is serviceable. I'm not expecting a bounce back. What do you think?
I mean, I don't expect. I kind of hope he doesn't have to be 1 or 2. I kind of hope DeAndre Baker gets healthy fast and looks great, and L'Jarius Sneed's got the other side locked down, and then it's, when there's 3 and 4 corners on the field, then we'll juggle the other guys.
Yeah,
but he's not going to take slot over Fenton, I don't think, even.
No, so, he won't play in the slot at all. I don't think he can guard a 2-way go, to tell you the truth.
Right.
He needs the boundary. True. Yeah, I agree with you there. If he could be an off the bench guy, I think they'd be better off.
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
Hey man, fresh legs at corner is you can't underestimate that. That's or overestimate it rather. That's a big deal.
It's a very big deal. Tanner, thank you for the super chat. Sorry to bring up right guard position again. Don't worry about it. But I haven't heard anybody talk about Blythe. He was all pro right guard in 19, I believe. I thought he was at center then. I think that was like 17. And he was serviceable at guard.
But he's at PFF's top 10 center last year.
Yeah.
So he's all center all day long.
He did play guard for 2 seasons for the Rams, though. I think it was just earlier, Tanner. So, but he is an option there. Like if LDT is like not in shape or he's lost too much weight and he can't go either, he will be another option behind Wiley over there. And I think he's pretty much got the backup center job like squared away. So if you're using him as a dual interior backup, then I think that makes a lot of sense.
Are we saying that Creed's the starter for sure? Is that what we've been talking about when I've been on here? Not been on here?
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
I'm hearing
what Andy's saying.
I'm hearing that's what they want, and that's what they want to see. Don't take it from me. Take it because I initiated that kind of approach too. Take it from Joe Valerio. Had him on the show on Chiefs Chat on Wednesday, and Joe said, "Dude, I'm telling you, as a former pro, don't sleep on a starting center in the NFL not wanting to play. Don't sleep on Austin Blythe." So, I mean, that wouldn't be a bad situation. I don't think if Blythe is just, a little bit better, have Creed just wait a minute, just hang on, young guy. But who knows? I mean, Creed's a monster though. Creed's huge.
No, as far as I understand it, Creed has gotten 100% of the first team snaps.
Okay.
They haven't even looked at Blythe as far as taking a snap to Patrick. So that tells me a lot of where Andy and Andy see them. Now, you're absolutely right, though. Is he a veteran? Is he taking his time at OTAs and he turns it on in camp? Sure. You never know. But from right now, it seems like at this point, it is not much of a competition.
Offensive line. What's the offensive line equivalent of rope-a-dope? It might just be that. OTAs.
Is that OTAs. The turtle in the hair? I'm not sure what you do with that.
Comes up, boom.
It's like turkey leg in one hand or something. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry to all you offensive linemen out there, but hey.
They're laughing. What are you talking about? They're already laughing, those guys.
Right? Stevie, so this is the quote from Jeff Allen. Keep that to yourself, bro. Half the league are disciples of Andy Reid's coaching tree, and the other half respect him enough to make sure you retire. I hope Jeff's right. You guys know how I felt when they signed Lev in the first place, so can't say we're surprised, can we?
I'm disappointed. I'm a little surprised. I'm disappointed. I'm like, I don't know what went on behind closed doors. Something had to. Well, I mean, we knew when the Super Bowl came, and the only 2 guys who don't see the field that were dressed were Henny and Le'Veon Bell. I'm like, you got to think. Because I don't know if it was you, Ryan, if it was me, I don't care how nicked up I might be or how old I might old. It's my first ever Super Bowl. I'm getting on the damn field and I'm going to run someone over.
Yeah.
I'm getting at least one chance to knock somebody's snot out of their nose. And he just stood in the sideline all day. And I was like, what the F is going on?
Yeah, I was surprised too. But I mean, at that point, I was surprised earlier in the season, I should say. I wasn't surprised by that point. But
yeah.
Daryl Miller, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate the support, buddy. Lev is just Lev as far as I'm concerned.
I kind of thought all the nick ups, the ankle and the high ankle spread. I thought he was kind of like veteran saving himself for the playoffs, and then I was like,
that was my guess as well.
Now's the time. Third quarter of the Super Bowl. Now's the time, dude. Like, but anyway.
Afro Samurai, I like where you're coming from on the second part. I like KJ Wright. I thought he re-signed in Seattle. Maybe I'm wrong. If not, he could be an option. It's about scheme, though, because I don't know that he's used to being on the field in a calling capacity. He's used to having Bobby Wagner out there with him. So maybe that's part of the hang-up. I'm not sure. I could have swore that he went back to Seattle on a 1 year, but I could be wrong.
I'm Marge Simpson asking for a coffee in Australia on that question. What do you think about KJ Wright? Yeah, we saw KJ Wright. What do you think about Richard Sherman? Yeah, KJ Wright sounds like a good idea. No, Richard Sherman. KJ Wright is an excellent linebacker depth guy. Yes, KJ Wright. Richard, shush. There's no Richard Sherman for me. No, thank you.
I'm with you, Muhammad. That is not how I understand it at all. It was LDT and Wiley that were to get the right guard reps. Maybe there was an issue with Wiley, but from the two images that I saw of Friday's practice, which was the first one without Long, it was Wiley in there at right guard. I don't think Trey's quite ready yet, you guys. Let's see what he does in training camp as far as what I'm hearing. Holly, thank you for your super chat. Nice to see you. Any news about travel restrictions in Canada and LDT getting back into the United States? Here's what it is, you guys. There's no travel restriction to the United States. It's not a problem getting here. He can come in. He has a positive test. They're allowing Canadians here. The Canadians are quarantined coming back from America. So, like, if he comes here for the 3 days, which he is doing, like, he'd have to quarantine for 2 weeks to go home. So my guess is he's either going to hang out in Kansas City or he's going to go to some beach somewhere, relax for the month before training camp, rather than sitting in quarantine for 2 weeks. I don't know. Maybe it's worth it for him for those couple of weeks. I don't know what his work schedule is, or if he's got, I mean, as far as I understand, med school's over for him. He's in residency. He's got patients to see, but I don't think that that's the priority right there.
My guess would be he booked his patients off to another doc and he waited this long to come down because of that, because he couldn't bounce back and forth. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
But again, he probably left yesterday. There was no time frame for him coming to KC. It was getting back home.
Yeah.
Aaron, thank you for this. You guys, the community tab is the only way that we can directly communicate with the members. So if you're already a member and you want to know when it comes up, just check that community tab. If you put the click down on the bell to all notifications, you should be getting notifications. If not, just check that community tab each week. Tuesday is member day. That's when we put up content for you guys. And I've started doing the Rogue Head Huddle with Stevie and Gooch on Sundays. So you guys get a little bit of Sunday flavor when we don't have any games to watch. So we'll go from there. But yeah, everything is in the community tab. That's for non-members as well. You guys can see announcements and things that we have there. I have some freebies, some wallpapers up and whatever that's open to everyone. So thank you again, Miss Holly. Football fan, just wanted to stop by and say hi. I got to work tonight. Oh, sorry, bud. I appreciate that. And thank you for the support, dude. Hopefully you see this on rewatch. Voodoo, if Hardman can beat press, which he did some in 2020, is he the X? Is that big progression forward for him besides the route running and finishing the routes? I don't think you line him up there consistently. You can do it on a lark. But no, I don't think that makes him the X. Do you, Danilo?
Even if he can run, which I think he can, even if he can run, it's about beating the press, like the person intimated. Even if he can run the predominant X role position routes, it's a waste of his ability, his innate ability inside zipping around. And you're talking about the outside, right?
Yeah, the X on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. First of all, on the line of scrimmage, you're not going in motion, so that kills that. You got a guy that's coming, that can come out of the slot, that can do all kinds of. I wouldn't do that with him. He's not a linear receiver. He can do it, but I mean, like look at Randall Cobb with the Packers. He showed later in his career he could line up out there. It was no problem. But early in his career, when he was inside, he destroyed us a couple times. Like the guy was annoying. That's what you want to do with those small jitterbug guys. Keep him inside, keep moving around. I'm hoping that that Cornell can go out there and throw some people around, because bigger guys tend to go, okay, bump me a couple times. Let's see how that works out.
Throw you around like funny that you bring him up, because Trey was asking about him as well. Right now, Trey, I would say he has an outside shot at it. I won't take anything from him, but he's wearing 14. It doesn't make him Sammy Watkins. The team has stuck with Demarcus Robinson and Byron Pringle over and over and over again, to the much chagrin about Robinson. So I think he's probably third in that 3-man race to be the number 2. What do you think?
I think Demarcus Robinson is fire insurance, but they're going to ride the fire insurance unless he gets hurt or starts having some bad games. And they got to go, you know what? Let's just go. Let's just see. Watch for garbage time, folks. First of all, we're getting a preseason, so we're going to get a look. We're going to get a much better look at Pringle, at Byron. Byron Pringle. I got Brian in my mind, so I'm going to bring him up next. We're going to get a much better look at Powell than we typically have gotten at Pringle in the past, because Pringle wasn't the same kind of guy coming out. Yeah. Pringle is going to get a lot more coverage than he's gotten in the past, and we're going to see both of those guys. If they step up and they ball out, man, it's up for grabs. I don't think that DeMarcus has got anything on lockdown by any stretch.
I just like I like not to buck their tendencies, because every time I say they're not going to play Robinson, they do.
Oh, no, yeah, I wouldn't buck Andy's Andy. Andy's going, hey, look at the list of the top 10 coaches in the NFL. There's a reason for that. That's why I do what I do. Okay.
Ben, this is a big question for me. This comes down to, can Fortson separate himself from Blake Bell in my mind, because no Grazier 2 at this point.
He's still listed as a wide receiver on the site.
Yeah,
why is he still listed as a wide receiver?
That's because PR isn't keeping up. He's been practicing in the tight end room since like week 10 last year. He's wearing 88. Is he wearing Tony's number? He's wearing a tight end number. He's running as a tight end from every beat reporter I've talked to. It's just PR still lists him as a wide receiver.
Just from the little we saw in preseason games and the genetic freak that he is, I'm not giving up on that guy until I see him in a real game and give him a chance to do some of that. Because some guys, you know what, folks, they sparkle and shine a little bit in preseason, and then when you finally get him in a game, you're just like, oh, this is game day version. They take it up a level, and it's all of a sudden it's like he does belong. He just didn't pop because maybe he was uncertain or unsure. You put a guy in the game, it's like you're putting the badge of honor going, you're one of us for real now. Go get it. He hasn't had that chance. And I want to see that. I want to see that before they cut bait with that guy, because otherwise it's a waste of years of reps.
I agree. You know? I hope that he can beat out Bell and be the 3. That's my goal for him. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Are there any current free agents you guys would like to see the Chiefs pick up and start before training camp? I think we've covered this, or I have. But Dan, anybody you'd like to see them go get right now?
Did Jordan Hicks get picked up? Arizona guy that they let go, the linebacker. That's the guy that I had my eye on. I don't know if he's still around.
I thought he did, but I could be wrong.
That's the only guy I really think of, just because I want us to get some linebacker. You know what? There you go. Somebody asked earlier what position makes us a little nervous. I'd like to see a little more solid depth at linebacker.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, let's wait till cut down day, because there's going to be there's always surprises. They're like going to be like, they got that guy. Well, they got those 2 rookies, and all of a sudden there's a guy that Brett Veach is salivating over. So right now, not really. There's nobody really pops off the screen in my mind that we need to get.
Okay. All right, just want to make sure.
No,
I was thinking linebacker before as well.
Okay.
Ombre, can you finally admit that Brett Veach is the best GM in the NFL, especially in revamping offense? I mean, has there anybody been more in his corner for that than me? I'm not sure, but I mean, the best. I mean, you can make an argument with Brandon Beane. You can make an argument with a couple other guys. He's in the top 5 for sure. But I mean, let's not forget Breland Speaks either. I think Brett Veach can still be. No, let's not come on. But you went up there and got a guy because you panicked. I mean,
even more, that alone, the fact that he wasted a pick on that guy, still came back and won the Super Bowl. I'm like, for me, the last 2 years, he should have been executive of the year. He should have been the guy. I just think there's Kansas City bias. People look at Kansas like when Andy Reid came in and we went from, what were we, 4-12 or 2-14 the year before. Andy comes in, we immediately go 11-5, and they give the coach of the year to Ron Rivera because the Panthers didn't totally collapse the way they were starting to look like they were going to. I'm like, but Andy just turned a team. No, doesn't matter. No, we don't like Kansas City. Something out there. There's something in the air. People just don't like. Maybe they're jealous of all the great barbecue. That must be what it is. You already get Arrowhead and the barbecue, so be happy with that. You can
make legitimate arguments for other people too.
Sure, you can.
Bean, Ballard. I mean, the job that Ballard's done is incredible too. I'm just saying that he's not perfect, so let's not anoint him yet.
If you got to pound the table for somebody, I think that's what this person's asking for. Is there somebody? Is he the guy, or was there another guy you would pick over him, Ryan, that you would pound the table for?
I would honestly, I'd put it between the 3 of them, and I think, quite frankly, if this offensive line works out, I mean, and that's regardless of whether Kyle Long becomes healthy again or not.
Right.
He's stacked it to the point where you can withstand that, and so I would probably say, as long as they don't fall apart with injuries there,
right,
I think they're going to be fine. And I would say at that point he would have my vote. That's for sure.
He's in the ring for sure.
I mean, I've been saying for about 3 years that I think he could be. He's one of the top 3, and I mean, a little better athleticism evaluation that I could help him provide would probably put him over the top, in my opinion.
Right. I'm sorry. Is there somebody? Oh, it's just me. It's just
right,
me.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Hey. Lego. I've seen Hughes running with the 2s and the 3s. I think it's just an adaptation thing. Right now, I understand that it's him and Fenton at the nickel that are getting the most reps. And Fenton's been here for a while. Fenton's a good player, so beating him out is not an easy thing. But that's one of the camp battles that I'm looking forward to. And I'll have a camp battle thing breakdown when we get done with minicamp. You guys, we're going to fill in with predictions, guys we like, guys we're pulling for, a bunch of stuff here in the month before they open camp. Do you have anything with that Mike Hughes bit?
No, I hadn't thought about him when they brought up Ward earlier, and I'm just like, that's another guy. I mean, I know they're not technically the same position, but if you're going to roll 4 out there, I mean, if Baker's healthy and he's taking the number 2 rather, I don't know that Ward beats out either Fenton or Hughes for one of the other 2 spots. If you go 4 corners, 4 wides versus 4 wides rather. I don't like the height. The height's an issue, but I mean, he's athletic as heck, so if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, and that disadvantage is pretty common across the league. And just to play with a little bit of height disadvantage, it'll be all right.
That's what we got LJ for.
Yeah, exactly. What if Dana or Wharton has a second season like Saunders? Well, that's why you got both of them. And again, I think the defensive line is fairly deep too with options. That's the point. Do you not think so?
I mean, it's a funny question because it's like, what if someone on a football team underperforms like happened last year? It's going to happen.
Oh, I thought he meant the injury thing.
Oh, well, I mean, even if it's that, it's going to happen on every team in the league. Somebody's going to get hurt. Some guys aren't going to play as well as they should. On teams like Kansas City, teams like Baltimore, where the coaching is the highest level, the competitiveness is the highest level, there's no excuse. That stuff doesn't slide along anymore. We had years in Kansas City where we had guys that if they weren't on Kansas City, God bless our team, they wouldn't be in the NFL. If they weren't a Chief, they wouldn't make any other team in the league. That's not the case anymore. You start slacking on this team now, if it's for anything other than an injury, it's going to be hit the road, Jack. We need to do better. Yeah. So it could happen. It probably will happen. Somebody's going to do it. It might not be those 2 guys you named, but if they do, then Brett will deal with it. Has he shown any qualms about cutting people that get injured? Let me think about this past season. Left tackle, right tackle. No, I don't think he's got any fears about no matter how tenured you are with his team and how big of a name you are. The door's right over there. It's always right there.
Yeah.
Guys,
we're going to speed through this here. We got 7 minutes to try and finish up for the hour. We got a bunch of super chats. I'm going to hit a couple of these real quick. Drummer, I did see Jaron Reed's. The only thing I didn't hear that I need to hear from him is to say his own name so I know how to pronounce it like he pronounces it. Drives me insane. But yeah, I mean, Wharton had a great first half of the season. He kind of hit the rookie wall. Like if he comes back and learns and makes the same progression, he's going to be a beast. And that's why I think him and Nadi are probably, the 2 backup tackles, and Saunders would be the 5th. DD. Oh, thanks for the super chat. They just posted a vid of LDT, so he is back. Okay, that's great. I didn't see that yet. Obviously, we're working here, but Joseph Jackson, good question. Under over 5 sacks for Taco. I feel like he'll be the forgotten pass rusher on this line by season's end. What do you think, Danilo?
Under. I don't think he's going to get enough reps, and if he gets 3, I'll be thrilled because I don't think he's going to get that many reps. Okay. And I think it's going to take him a number of tries to get that number. Although Ogba and those guys, I don't think he's Ogba or Okafor though. I don't think he's there yet.
I think he's close, and I think he might end up being better as a true edge,
right?
Because he doesn't have the power. For me, it's whether he stays healthy or not. I'm going to be optimistic, and I'm going to say over because I'm going to say he doesn't get hurt this year. And if he does that, he's sufficient. Yeah, right. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to break 10, but if he stays healthy, I think he could get 6 or 7. Yes, absolutely. Let's see. Ben Brotbeck, thank you, of course. As always, you are the man. Hopefully you have a question down here below. I want to get you something else, but you've been very generous as always. I appreciate that, dude. Holly, I hope I didn't miss a question from you. I usually try to pay attention. I will keep scanning, though. Yeah, Bobby, that's kind of how I see him right now, as Taco's like the pass rush designate. Come in, do the NASCAR thing. I'm really hoping for that. Hey, Duke, welcome to Chiefs Nation. The kingdom will let you in. You don't have to be a Bronco fan. Yeah, but that's okay. We talk.
Look, I got an orange brim on my hat for you, buddy. Right there. Right? There you go.
Yeah, there's a little bit of everything. Holly, Matt, could you cut it? Okay, this isn't for me. Sorry, Holly. I guess I'm reading too much. Wait, Duke had a question? Okay, no. Justin Houston had a bad breakup and the bridges burned. That's how it feels to me. I don't think there's a whole lot of love left there. And drummer dude, yeah, we were talking about KJ before. I agree with you there. That's a fair point. Oh, there's Duke. Okay, Denver Broncos fan, but just got a warm welcome from Stevie Keys. Stevie Keys is a good dude. He does that. And we do talk about the whole AFC West. So welcome, Duke. I'm glad you're here. If you do have something specific, I know a little bit about the Broncos as well, given I live out here in Denver as well. So
right. Hey, my experience in Denver, I've seen a couple of games at Mile High and Invesco. You guys are great to me. You guys were great to me every time. And, nothing but love. It's not like Oakland. It's not like even Charter Stadium was a little douchey.
Oakland.
Yeah. You guys have been solid. So welcome.
Just makes me chuckle. K-Pack, glad you're live again. I'm glad to know. Couple of quick ones. Will Dan Sorensen win the Super Bowl MVP this year? No. And if would you give him a compliment? Yes, I complimented him last year too. If he earns it, you guys, I compliment him. And
I knew that question wasn't for me. That's
no, it was not for me.
I'm gonna say no to the MVP thing right out of the gate because the team would have to be struggling really mightily for Dan to be that much higher above everybody else. But he'll always get compliments from me.
He's a 30-year-old safety. Just be happy he's still in the league. He's plugging away.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean Super Bowl champion Dan Sorensen? Was that the question, fan? Okay, yeah, I think he's.
The question was whether we'd be Super Bowl MVP.
Come on. give me a fighting chance here.
Give me a chance.
Ryan's it's like tie Dan's hands and feet down and let Ryan just hit him with a shovel. Come on.
Nah, it'll be a pillow. It's okay. Baker doing any work? I've seen him dressed at the OTAs. Yeah, he's like, as I understand, he's jogging on the side so far. I don't think we're going to see him before camp. If we saw him in camp, I'd be pretty happy because the last time I saw someone break the head off their femur, it was a year and a half before they were running. So he's clearly ahead of that. But I just want to tamp down expectations. I'm not sure that DeAndre Baker is going to be ready for camp, you guys. If he is, it's great. Gooch is here. Hey, you made it. Not a live stream without me. You're absolutely right. We miss you, dude. Rogue Nation, Rogue Heads, Rogue Life. That's all there is to it. Thank you, Gooch. Guys, you can catch Gooch. If you become a member, you get Gooch in the membership videos. There's a special playlist on the homepage. Gooch doing his thing for the memberships, and along with Stevie for Rogue Head Huddle, 2 new shows that we're starting to put out now. I think you guys are going to dig them. Want to make sure we get to the last, looks like 2 super chats, but I'm going to grab these in here in between. Here, this one's for you, Danilo. Do we have any offensive weapons, or does the overhaul of the O-line make it easier for Mahomes and co with guys like Hardman, Robb, and Darwin? Really? Darwin isn't going to play a factor, you guys. Jerick McKinnon is taking his job.
The answer to both of those questions is yes. We have enough weapons. The overhaul of the line is you cannot underestimate it. I've played on teams before where you run a great route, you beat your man, you look back, and your quarterback's on his back doing bench press reps. I don't care what weapons you have. If your quarterback doesn't get protected, they're useless. The fact that we've already got great weapons, we've added a couple, and on top of that, the line is going to be head and shoulders above what it was last year, I believe. Huge difference. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun to watch. I'm excited to see what Patrick does with this. And he's another year smarter, folks. He's still getting better. He's not done yet. He's Jeff Goldblum on the couch in The Fly. I'm getting better.
Okay, that was creepy. That one, I remember that as a kid. That one creeped me out. Oh, yeah. Man. Eric Streeter, what's your prediction for the biggest player takeaway from mandatory OTAs? Well, we have to see them first. They don't start till tomorrow. But my guess is going to be that one of the rookies is going to stand out in a way that maybe gets some attention. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, Powell or Gray. Somebody's going to have like some crazy one-handed backwards catch, like Chris Carter kind of stuff. And people are going to get all over excited about that. And it's going to be, you're not going to do those. You're not going to make those catches from the bench week 1. So it's nice. Get them in now. And we'd like to see the progress. But I don't think anybody's going to. I would like to see that from, Bolton. That's what I'd like to see.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to see pop and go like, wow, this guy's almost ready.
Right. Ton of us in here. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate that. If you guys had hit the like, that always helps us. It helps more Chiefs fans find us as well. You'd be amazed at how many people like even know the pod or my Twitter account are like, you do YouTube? It's crazy. Scott Mesa, good question. That's another one that could pop is Bo Peep. He seems to be getting more reps than I expected. What do you think of him, Danilo?
I hope he earns it. If he earns it, I absolutely hope we do, because I like his size better. I think that he could take Ward's reps on the outside, and in that case, you might end up seeing a release or a trade of Ward. He might go out the way he came in. He might get traded for another position.
Yeah, could be. Mr. Thompson's in the house. How are you, Claude? Likelihood Trey Smith keeps hold of the right guard. Yeah, I don't know that he has a hold of it. I think he was filling in for that one practice. Andy said specifically that LDT and Andrew Wiley will get the first and the bulk of the reps in mandatory minicamp for that position. So I think he's on the outside looking in, but he got a practice in where he could stand between Creed, another rookie, and Mike Remmers, who has a ton of experience. That was a good thing for him.
He's got to get a hold of it first. He doesn't have it yet. You're right. I agree. I mean, but I'm not betting against that dude. No, sir.
No, I'm trying to be realistic about his progression.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, especially in the zone stuff. Like I just don't feel he moves his feet well enough to play the zone the way Andy wants it played right now. I think he needs some time to get into it, you guys. I think he is the right guard of the future. I just don't know if that future is this season. It is what it is. And our last one. Oh, Terrell, welcome. Glad you made it. I love new subs and new members and everybody. Like, we're trying to grow, make everybody welcome. So don't mind Duke's here. He's a Broncos fan. It's all right. But Terrell, welcome. As well as all of you that have joined. If you are new, click the like and the sub. The sub gets you so you start getting notifications. And then to make the most of it, you got to click the bell down to all notifications so you see when we put stuff up. Danilo does a couple things a week. I do a bunch of things every week. Dan has a few. The guys have the member videos, and then
Chief
Seth's
in the
on
North.
Thursday night. Yeah, I was put that last because can't let him get
he's the exclamation mark.
Yeah. Right. And for those of you who know Chief of the North, that's Seth Kaiser from The Athletic. He is on with us. We do a live stream Thursday night, he and I. So it's a fun time. We're going to answer this last super chat, and then I'll let you guys go because I got to go eat dinner with my kids. But this is from Drummer Dude. A lot of questions and a lot of super chats. Thank you, Drummer Dude. I appreciate it. Want to hit this one for you. What do you guys think about all the NFL fans that think the Bucs laid out a blueprint for beating the Chiefs? I'll let you go first.
Yes. Have the blueprint is have some of the best offensive weapons in the NFL, have uncharacteristic drops, have the offensive line fall apart and lose their starting left tackle of the entire season a week before you play them, and you have a chance against Kansas City. That's the blueprint, folks. Now, it's not exactly wash, rinse, repeat. It's not that kind of bluepeat
The challenge.
I'm glad that the Buccaneers think that way. I'm glad that they think that's what it is, because I know Patrick can't wait to get his hands on him again.
Yeah. Well, and that's a very telling thing. The injury thing, and I mean, you guys got to remember, they started 4 backup linemen in the Super Bowl. That's huge. But I will say this, the backside of what they did in being able to guard deep with the cover 3 and the cover 4 and the cover 6 that they kept mixing in to keep a lid on everything, that combined with the pressure is what won them the Super Bowl. I think teams will take that blueprint, and I think they will play more deep zone coverages to try to take what Tyreek and even Travis on those deep crossers can make big plays out of nothing and buy themselves some time for their pass rush to maybe develop as well. I think that part we are going to see a lot more of.
I think that I hear you saying, I agree with you to an extent. The problem is it's like you guys have you ever had a gas stove and you have the flame up high and you have stuff that's got starch in it or a pasta, something. Sometimes it gets bubbly and it'll boil over, even if you have the lid askew a little bit. The problem was the offensive line didn't give Patrick enough time. So it was like somebody kept blowing the pilot light out on our offense before the routes could develop or do what they wanted to do. I think that they do have that to them. I want to see what they're like on second moves and on what they're like on broken scramble drills when it's because Pat wants to and not because he has to. When he's not being directed by the pass rush, he's picking which way to go based on what his receivers are doing. That's a whole different animal. That's not the same kind of pressure or kind of adjustment. So yeah, I mean, inside of the scheme of their defense, absolutely they did a great job, but Patrick never had a chance to force them to adjust because he was running for his life.
Yeah, just didn't have time.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Avery wrapped it up nicely. Welcome, Trell, and all you new subs and members. Glad to see you. Somebody asked a quick thing. I can't remember. I scrolled past it about Creed. Creed is powerful and athletic. He's a really good wrestler, and I think that plays into it. It's not one or the other with him. So just see what happens, and we'll find out when we find out. But Danilo, thanks for being in here tonight. I know schedules are tough. He's like 2 hours ahead of me, so it's like late there, you guys. But
I came right home from the store to make sure I was here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's the way that it goes. I hope you guys have a great night. We'll have more for you in the morning, as well as Dan tomorrow night. Seth on Thursday night. Don't miss that. I think Dan's got some film for Wednesday. I'm working, hopefully, on Noah Gray film breakdown for next Wednesday, so keep an eye out for that. Hope that you guys have a great day tomorrow. We will talk to you then.